Hello, everyone. This is Rachel Heimberg, your host of Not the Same, a podcast that brings you true stories of real people sharing their personal testimonies of transformation. First of all, let me wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas. Looking back on this year, I'm so amazed at what God has done in me, in my family, in our church, and especially through this podcast. We are officially 6 months into it, and it's been amazing. Every single person I have had the privilege of interviewing has enriched my life in some way. From the very first episode with Luiswa Ampaga to the most recent ones yet unpublished, from people whose stories I hardly knew to my very own father, I am so blessed by where this journey has taken me, and hopefully you thus far. That being said, for those of you who have been faithful since the beginning, I thank you. I would not be doing this without your encouragements, suggestions, compliments, and feedback. This isn't for my gain in any way, but so others can dig deeper into what makes us living, walking testimonies of God's grace and miracle power. What seems impossible, with God is always possible. That has never been more evident to me than when I sit week after week with people sharing just how much God has done in and through their lives. If you are a newer listener, or perhaps just caught this one mini episode by chance, I'm so grateful for you also. And however you found us, I'm so glad you did. Welcome. I am confident that you will find some encouragement for yourself and maybe even for someone who doesn't yet know this transforming power for themselves. This week would have been our final episode of the year, but since this falls on Christmas Day, I decided to push it back one more week and use this time to reflect and review on the last 6 months. I have had different people from different backgrounds sit with me and share truly remarkable stories. Some have been funny and some have been quite heartbreaking. Some people have lived very different lives than I did, and some maybe not as different. However, I have noticed a few similar threads throughout most, if not everyone. Something that has stuck out to me is the power of hospitality. Over and over again, people have remarked to me how, if it weren't for other people reaching out in kindness, whether through food, conversation, their time, or just by being nice, they would not have made it. People need people. Another thing that is also evident to me since beginning this podcast is that we never know what people have been through. We can never look at someone now and make a judgment about what kind of life they might have led. The power of God is such that we can look at someone now who we think might have it all together and never dream of what they might have endured or encountered. The sheer transformability of a life surrendered to God is so amazing that it can't be predicted. We really have no idea of what was BC, before Christ. Which brings me to something that has truly been eye-opening for me during this journey with each one of my guests and all of you listeners. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The God that changed my father's life in the 1970s. The God that met Lieben and Cheryl in the late 90s. The God that rescued Jabulani and Laverne in the last 4 years is still the same God today. He can change and transform any circumstance, any person, any situation, from what is to what can be. I never cease to be amazed at the incredible lengths God goes to for the lost and the broken. That is why I always say, don't underestimate the power of a transformed life. So with that, let me say again, Merry Christmas to you all. May God bless and keep you safe in the coming year. I pray that 2025 will be fruitful and inspiring as we labor to do what God has called each and every one of us to do. As always, please like, subscribe, follow, review, and all that good stuff. Please share this with someone who hasn't tuned in yet. Without a listener, the story can't be heard. If you get a chance, send me an email at notthesame.cfm@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, this is Rachel Heimberg from Not the Same.